everyone, and welcome back to Cobra Kai Studios for another one of the fan question videos. A video where we just sit here and talk about questions that both you and myself might have about Cobra Kai. Which can also be about Karate Kid as well. Why not? The first one we're going to start off with is a question, well not a question, but more of a theory from Commander Starscream, aka Cobra Kai Fan IG on Instagram. Let's just read the question, or theory, and we'll talk about it after we read it. Tori could be Mike Barnes' daughter, and here's why. He may have knocked up Tori's mom, and maybe Tori's mom learned Mike Barnes' history with Cobra Kai and the person that he actually was, and maybe she left him because most likely she didn't want Tori to grow up and be around a person like that. That's a really awesome theory. I actually like that theory. And it could make sense. For one, it's not that it wouldn't debate her last name. Her last name being Nichols could be she just took her mom's last name, which would make sense. If she didn't want Tori to have anything to do with Mike Barnes, why would she let her daughter even know that's her dad? You know what I mean? We don't even know that Tori knows her dad. She never mentions that she knows her dad. She talks about her mom a little bit and explains how she was poor and how her mom had to steal food and got fired and etc. So we know a little bit of background to her mom. Not much, but we know a little bit. But we know nothing of her father. So I really like that idea. In theory, it's a really interesting theory for sure. So shout out Commander Starscream for that. That's an awesome theory. I don't know. What do you think? I could see that being a huge possibility. And it'd be something that they could add into the show at any time. If they were to bring Mike Barnes back, that'd be an interesting way for them to bring him back. By maybe him reaching out to his former wife, if that's the case, which would be Tori's mom or former girlfriend, whatever be the case. So maybe that's an interesting one that I really liked. I liked that theory. I wanted to start this video off with that one. The next theory we're going to go into is from Sean Curtis. I think Mr. Miyagi killed or hurt someone in the past out of anger. That is a very interesting thing, and that could be one of his secrets that we don't know about. That's a huge possibility. Who's to say he didn't? I mean, maybe it wasn't even on purpose. Maybe it was an accidental. He accidentally killed someone, accidentally hurt someone. Can't rule it out. Not to say it's for sure true, but nonetheless, that's an interesting topic to go ahead and talk about, because there's a lot about many cast members in this show that we don't know the full background, the full story. Even though we've had a long time to learn about Mr. Miyagi, there's not everything detailed in writing or in some kind of story that we can actually fully put Mr. Miyagi's story together from life to death. There's a lot that we don't fully know. And that one right there is an interesting topic. So, what do you think? What do you think Mr. Miyagi's great secret could be? Obviously, there's something to be learned that we haven't learned yet that I'm sure that we're going to in due time. But what do you think? Don't be scared to comment. I really appreciate everybody leaving as much comments as they would like to. I love to interact with you all and actually sit here and talk about these comments, these questions that we have, these theories that we come up with, etc. Obviously, my video I posted earlier was the possible release date for Season 3 coming out on January 2nd that Bonsai Kai Dojo made a video on, and many other Cobra Kai YouTubers. So, what do you think? I'm hoping that we get it January 2nd. I really don't want to wait till April or longer whenever they decide they want to give us Cobra Kai Season 3. So, what do you think? You hope January 2nd's the reveal date? Because I do. I really hope that's when we get it. The next question's from Black Metal Nazgul. Between Ali, Terry Silvers, Mike Barnes, or Dutch, which of these characters do you think Tori might be related to? I'm sure it's not a popular theory to wonder if Tori is related to Dutch. No, it's not a popular theory at all, actually. But one that I guess could be a possibility. It's not one you hear talked about. There's no proof on it at all, really. I tried to look online to kind of maybe find some kind of leaks to this, and there's really nothing on that. But that's not to say that it ain't the case. Obviously, anybody in the show that they want to link together to someone else, they're doing it in ways that they're making sure they're not releasing too much to where it's guaranteed proof before they're ready to tell us. So it's an interesting speculation. Obviously, there's a lot of people that want to know who Tori's related to, and there's a lot that just don't care. They just want to drop it there. They have nothing to talk about. They don't want to talk about Tori. They're just pretty set on her last name's Nichols, and her parents don't matter. But as part of the show, it could or could not. I mean, Tori could be playing a bigger role in Season 3 than she has in the previous season, so how do we know that she's not gonna have like her own episode dedicated to her, talking about her actual family and past? Who knows? With Miguel being out for however many episodes they're gonna keep him out, they obviously gotta focus on other things. But at the same time, that's kind of probably why they have Johnny's little wherever he went that they're gonna talk about, and Daniel going to Okinawa. Wherever Robbie's going to go, who's Robbie going to turn to? Some speculate Robbie's going to turn to Johnny's stepdad. Some people speculate he's going to go back to his friends that he already fought with, which I don't know about that one because of the fact that they had a rivalry. And I don't think Robbie wants to go down that path again. I don't think I could see him turning back to being a thief and all that again because of everything he's learned. I don't feel like that would be a situation that we see. But what do you think? Just curious. Another question that's very puzzling and goes back to the Karate Kid Part 1 is, do you think that, that Allie was using Daniel just to make Johnny jealous in the Karate Kid? I do, actually. I feel like that is a big possibility. Not to say 100%. And maybe not fully, but I feel like in some way, yeah, I feel like that was something that, Allie was doing, especially because maybe she just felt kind of bad for Daniel at first because of him being the new kid and everything that happens in Karate Kid 1. I don't know. I still kind of see it like Daniel was the bully this whole time, though, in all honesty. And though it might not have been his fault, there's high speculations, which Bonsai Kai Jojo's made some amazing videos about this in the past, talking about who might be behind the whole why Daniel and Johnny got into it to begin with. So, I don't know. It's a very interesting topic to talk about, especially because I love going back into the Karate Kid. We don't really talk too much about the Karate Kid ever since Cobra Kai's came out, but let's be honest, that's where Cobra Kai has came from, is the fact that the Karate Kid existed. This one's a funny one, is PG commented, yes, Daniel will pay for Miguel's surgeries or whatever, and then actually it's more like Daniel will pay for it for Johnny, and then Johnny will have to work at LaRusso's dealership to pay him back, which I just thought that was funny. That would be a funny situation. Could you imagine Johnny working for Daniel? I mean, really, could you imagine that? I don't see that playing out good in any way, but that would be a funny plot twist nonetheless. Although I don't think that would happen, but I just thought that was kind of funny, so I had to mention that. What do you think? What would you do if that was a situation? It's an interesting comment nonetheless. But on top of Peachy's comment, he also said, do you think Daniel goes to Okinawa to get his black belt and do a test? Because technically in the US, you need to be a master to teach students, and he doesn't technically have a black belt. Miyagi kind of the same with Johnny and them. You don't ever see them test or anything along that line. They're just out of nowhere black belts. I could maybe see that, maybe. I don't know if they would do that, to be honest, just because of the way they do this show. I feel like they just feel like that's something that we should already expect happened, I guess. I don't know. But he also states, do you think that Kreese could use that against Daniel in any way? And maybe. I can't rule it out. I mean, if he wanted to be an ass like he is, and we all know Kreese is an ass, I mean, yeah, I guess. Like, I can't say that he couldn't use it against Daniel in some kind of way. So maybe. What do you think? Don't be scared to comment now. I really enjoy these comments. That's how we get together as a community and kind of just talk about whatever we want to talk about Cobra Kai related, because that's what I enjoy doing on this channel. This, along with my fight breakdown videos and just anything Cobra Kai, I enjoy making a video every day just to be able to sit down and talk about Cobra Kai. As do, I'm sure, you. And if any of you ever want to link up and do, like, discussions, feel free to let me know. I could give you an email and we could figure out how to do a compilation video together. Maybe us both talking about certain theories together or whatever you would like to do, because we're all one great community together, and that's what makes this channel and this community a great thing. Back to Aaron Crace's comment, which, thank you, Aaron. You commented quite a bit, and I appreciate it. Don't ever feel like you don't need to comment, because you're commenting a lot. You're keeping these videos going. He says, do you think that Daniel and Jessica Andrews keep in touch? I mean, there's no proof on it, but I would say that he might not keep in touch with them, but maybe keep track on them in some way, because if you think about it, when him and Johnny are talking in season 1, he obviously was keeping track on Allie. He wasn't, like, friend requesting or anything like that, but obviously he went to her Facebook page and in a sense was keeping track and keeping up with her. So maybe I wouldn't say that he isn't. I can't for sure say he is either, though. But what do you think? Do you think that he's keeping track with anybody from Karate Kid 1 besides just Allie? I could see it being a big possibility. I really could. So, wouldn't rule it out. Another question from Aaron is, do you think that Johnny and Robbie will move to South Sea's apartments in Cobra Kai Season 3? I don't know. I have a feeling that Johnny's going to move. I don't know why, but I just feel like with the way things went with him and Miguel, I don't know that he's going to stay in his apartment. But it could also go the other way, that Miguel and his mother could just move. I mean, leading up into another question from Aaron is, do you think that Miguel's dad's gonna, or Carmen's gonna contact Miguel's dad and let him know what happened? And yes, I do. I think that's something we will see, unless for some reason Miguel's dad's dead or something. They just never explained that. But I feel like, yes, we could see that happening, and yes, I could see Miguel's dad returning for Season 3 in some kind of way, which could lead to them moving. I don't know. Obviously, Carmen's going to have some conflict with Johnny because of everything that happened, as well with Daniel, and maybe even the school because of the school fight happening, and I don't know. There's a lot of speculation that is left wide in the air for us to just kind of ponder and put the pieces together ourselves until they actually release the show for Season 3, so I don't know. Interesting enough to think, regardless. I like that question, because it's something I kind of think. I feel like, yeah, Johnny's going to move, or else Miguel's going to move. One of them obviously is going to move. I just don't know. Maybe. They might not. They might not. I mean, they might keep them in the same apartment to kind of keep that conflict going, and maybe give Johnny a chance to hash things out with Carmen and Miguel, and hopefully move forward from everything that happened in Season 2. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know for sure. Obviously, there's no direct proof yet. But as we keep going and as we learn what happens in Season 3, hopefully on January 2nd, then we'll know. Maybe. Do you think that Tori's mom is Judy from Karate Kid Part 1? No, I don't. I don't think that. Now, it's not to say that someone else might not have that feeling, but there's really no proof or any kind of leads to that. But, you know what I mean? Like, they don't really say her name or anything, so we don't know for sure. But I would say no. My opinion on that question is no, at least. What do you think? Do you think that's a possibility? Maybe a little slight possibility? I don't know about that one. I just honestly don't know. Do you think that Mr. Miyagi is related to Mr. Han? I'm going to also say no on that one, but then again, like I talked about it in the past video, maybe. It's just one of those things that they don't really have enough truth or there's not enough to back that up, basically, to say. There's not enough behind that to be like, yeah, for sure. You know, so, I don't know. Another question that's interesting is, do you think that Daniel will go back to New Jersey? That one's interesting. I guess that would depend on how things play out with him and Amanda. I don't see that happening, especially with him already going to Okinawa and such. I don't feel like that would be something they should do yet. Maybe in his future season. And that kind of leads up to the whole, do you think that Daniel's mom's going to die in Season 3? I don't think that'll happen in Season 3. I feel like, yeah, they'll probably have that happen. I feel like that's something that would add interesting to the story, because then, of course, Daniel's going to go down a different path. He's going to be upset, obviously. I feel like he's not going to handle that in a very good way, which could lead to some things happening. Maybe him straying away from wanting to teach karate. Maybe turn him bad for a little while. Who knows? Think about it. If his mom dies, he then no longer has Mr. Miyagi or his mother. So, what could that lead to? What do you think? Obviously, Amanda would be happy. She don't seem to be too fond of Daniel's mom. So, I don't know. I guess that just kind of depends on where the writers want to go with the show. If that's something they want to add into the show, or if it's something they feel like it's not really needed to add to the show because there's already enough conflict and different things to kind of play into the story already as it is. What all types of martial arts do you think Mr. Miyagi knew besides just the karate that he teaches to Daniel's son? Do you think he knew Kung Fu? Do you think he knew Taekwondo? Do you think he knew Jiu-Jitsu? Do you think he knew Judo? I don't know. I feel like Mr. Miyagi's training was a mix of multiple different types of martial arts, but at the same time, I do see that there's a lot of like Kung Fu style in his martial arts and training. So I would say it's a unique form of karate. That's the best way I would explain it. And that just kind of depends. I mean, there's so many different types of martial arts that exist in the United States, in China, in Japan, in Korea, in Germany, Russia, everywhere across the world. There's more than I could even mention. There's tons I don't even know about. That's just how diverse martial arts is. It's something that's spread throughout the whole world, so I can't fully answer that, I'd say. But it's an interesting debate, nonetheless. I mean, who's to say that he doesn't know Kung Fu, or he does know Kung Fu. It's just he's got similar traits in certain trainings that he does that I could speculate and say possibly. I wouldn't say for sure, but I'd say, yeah, there's probably some type of Kung Fu training he's had, whether it's just the lineages of his master or wherever he learned from new Kung Fu and kind of diverged his own style of teachings. Because like I explained in the previous fight breakdown videos, every martial arts teacher learned from somebody, and not all of them, but most of them add their own twists to the trainings as they teach to other students. That's not always the case, but it's the case that I've noticed in a few masters that I've had, that's just something that kind of happens. Obviously, you want to make martial arts easier to understand to younger kids, so obviously there's certain things that you're going to implement to actually make them more interested in martial arts, because if you've been in martial arts, you know that it's not always just fun and games. It's a lot of work and training that's behind the scenes that you have to do. You actually have to train, you have to build muscle, you have to build muscle memory, you have to build focus, clarity, responsibility. So there's a lot to it besides just going into a dojo, putting on a gi, and being badass. That's just not how it is. Yes, it's a lot of fun to me, and even the working out and building up muscle and training was a lot of fun to me. It's not always fun to everybody else. So, I don't know. What do you think? If you've been in martial arts, maybe explain what you liked about martial arts and what you didn't like. When I was a kid in martial arts, because like I said, I had two masters, one when I was a kid and one when I was older. When I was a kid, I was just all about learning. I just wanted to keep learning and progressing. Now, as I got older, the master started having me train people, and at the time, I had no interest in training other people. I had no intentions of being a master, but as I got older, I seen the fundamentals of why he was teaching me that, and honestly, it played a huge role into training that as a kid I didn't pick up on. As I got older, thankfully I did. Now, hopefully in the future, I'd like to maybe teach people martial arts in the future. That would be a lot of fun. It'd be awesome to maybe have my own dojo one day. Who knows, though? Not to say that it'll happen. Regardless, I'm always going to train in martial arts. I'm always going to practice Taekwondo. Eventually, I want to learn different art forms from across the world, though. That's something I've always wanted to do and never got a chance to do. I would love to learn lots of histories of martial arts that I don't already know, as well as more fighting styles and practices to learn, whether it be taught by the masters themselves, whatever it be the case. Me personally, martial arts is just a huge inspiration to my life, and I feel like it's something that should be shared with the world more in a different way. A lot of people think of martial arts as just something to keep their kids busy, and that's not what it is. It actually does teach some really good fundamental learning steps to a kid and adults alike. So I guess that's going to be it for the questions as far as the questions go. But before we get out of here, I wanted to kind of express that I won't have my video about Easter eggs done for a few days, or maybe even a week. I want to make sure that everything's done correctly on that video. I want to make sure everybody gets the credit they deserve, and I want to make sure the editing's done in a different way. These videos are easy to do because all it is really I need a background loop, and we just kind of sit here and talk. Yes, I add in video clips and pictures from the show as well, just to kind of keep it interesting, but these videos are going to change as we go. Eventually, we're going to have the same kind of setup, but we're going to have a camera of me, so you see me actually talking. And as we get big enough, if we ever get to 1,000 subscribers, we'll start doing these live. So that way the questions can come in and we can talk about them as they're coming in. So you're having to wait till the next day when I make a video. And plus, that gives us the chance to interact and talk as the questions are coming in, which I feel like would be a lot more interesting to both me and you, the audience. So what do you think? Do you think that would be a lot of fun? Now, I know if I went on live on the computer, we could do that, but the camera is so horrible, I wouldn't want to really do that yet. I'd rather wait till we could go live on my phone, because I feel like it'd be a better experience, let's be honest. So, if you have any more questions you want to talk about, feel free to comment. If not, I'm going to make the next videos about questions I have that I haven't actually talked about. So, I want to thank Bonsai Kai Dojo, my moderators, my subscribers, the people that are not subscribing but still watch my videos. Thank you all. You all are badass. Keep doing what you're doing. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, maybe hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share it to other Cobra Kai fans. Let's keep this community growing. I'll see you on the next one, everyone. Have a great night. As always, stay badass.